What's up, Infected? Welcome to the Quarantine. This is Kickstart Your Week. Now, I know I'm a bit late. I didn't do a video last week. I was really busy. I'll record later. So, this week I'm going to be covering last week's Kickstarters and this week's Kickstarters. Now, I only have 11, I think. 10 or 11. I think it's 10. Covering both weeks. It wasn't a very exciting week, in my opinion. But if you're unfamiliar with what this show is, this is my weekly segment, for the most part, covering the previous week's Kickstarters that I thought looked interesting. Now, there's no hard, fast rules for this. It's really what caught my eye, what I thought looked interesting, and what I wanted to talk about. That's really it. Totally biased. It's just what I thought looked cool. So, anyways, if you like this show and like this format, definitely check out the Gamerati. I'll have a link down in the description. Take you straight over to there. We do most of the time, we do a weekly podcast where we all just BS about Kickstarter games that we thought looked cool and bicker back and forth and argue about why our choices were, awesome, bad, whatever. It's a lot of good fun. They're good guys. Definitely check that out over there. It's good to be a gamer. But let's just go ahead and move along with this. All right, the first game on my list is Runes of Ragnarok. Now, Runes of Ragnarok it looks kind of like Dice Master, but with a bit more meat on it. Now, I played a bit of Dice Master a while back, and I loved it, but several of the sets just didn't seem to be very well balanced. And the one I wanted to play seemed to be a little less balanced. So this one looks really cool, and the artwork on it, on top of that, is beautiful. Next up is Mythical Fate of Heroes. Now, Mythical Fate of Heroes is a fantasy adventure game which looks really interesting. From what I can tell, it does feel a bit on the random side, where you have to roll for how much income you're going to get, and then you have to roll for how much things cost, which seems a bit odd, and I may not like it, but it seems very complex, and it looks like it might have a very DM, like a D&D style feel without a DM, which is what made it stand out to me, because I'm a big D&D nerd. So that really looked cool, and I guess the rolling for prices and stuff kind of mitigates the whole, like, the DM has to figure out the market stuff. So I guess there's that, but it does feel like it might be a bit on the random side. Next up is Mountaineers. Now, Mountaineers looks really cool. It's got a big 3D map that comes up like this, and you're sticking like these little cardboard, I don't know what to call them. I want to say cardboard penises, but that's not what they are. But you're sticking those in there, and that's like the route that you're climbing. And your goal isn't necessarily to get to the top. Your goal is to do these certain maneuvers, which I thought was kind of an interesting take, because, a mountain climbing game, you usually want to get to the top of the mountain. But this one doesn't seem like that, and I thought that looked really interesting. Plus, 3D board that's going to look beautiful on the table, and it's going to cause people, if you're playing it at a local shop, people are going to stop by and go, oh man, what is that? So, next up is Battle for Pattaya. Now, Battle for Pattaya is a MOBA, which is a multiplayer online battle arena, I think is what it stands for, which is like Dota, Load, League of Legends, stuff like that, but in a board game form. Now, it uses pixel art, and if I'm not mistaken, they have some sponsorships or something like that with Level 99 that you could see up here. And the artwork on it looks like almost like Pixel Tactics, which looks neat. But overall, it looks really cool. You do these like pre-assigned orders. Both players, they assign their orders to all their heroes, and then you have to reveal the orders and hope that your opponent is still where they needed to be for your orders to go off. And I thought that looked really cool. Plus, there's trap laying, which anytime to screw buddies is always a good time. So, next up is Jarana Project. Now, this one I kind of toyed with whether I wanted to put it on this list, because honestly, it doesn't look so much like it's a board game as it is a little cube that uses mobile device. So, I didn't know if I was going to put it on it, but you know what? Screw it. This is my list. I'm putting it on it. So this one looks like a really or a less wacky version of something like Space Team, and I want to say there's another one that we play where you use your mobile devices. You're trying to accomplish a task. I guess there's a trader around of you guys, and you use this little block that's in the middle of the table, and you all set your phone on it, and like it gives you your orders or puzzles that you have to pass or something like that. I thought that looked really cool. Now, is it a board game? Arguably. It's in the board game section and hasn't really been kicked out, so screw it. I'm putting it on the list. I thought it looked interesting. I welcome our Android overlords and like mobile devices in my board games. As you see here, I got XCOM here. It's one of my favorites. So bring on the mobile devices in board games, because this phone here will be able to do all of the bookkeeping, so I don't have to. So bring it on. And then next on this list is Galactic Warlords. Now, Galactic Warlords is an area control game where the map is going to change just a little bit. Like, the whole layout's always the same, but what's where is going to change a bit. And it's got several cool systems where you play as these mercenaries to try to get these abilities, but if you play the right mercenary next to the right mercenary, you get bodyguards that protect your mercenaries from being assassinated, and something along these lines. And I thought that looked really, really cool. And there's several other mechanics that kind of swim into this, which look really neat. But the sci-fi theme alone really stands out. The artwork is pretty decent. Some of it's hit or miss, but some of it's really, really cool. The minis look really neat, and overall the artwork looks fantastic. And sign me up for the space theme. Anyways, I'm a big sucker for space. Next up is Ironclad. Now, I actually have Ironclad still sitting on the table over there. If you haven't seen my review, check it out. I probably won't remember, but it might be up here. But if not, check it out on the page. It's one of my more recent reviews. But the game is phenomenal. Just spoilers. I can't talk today. Ironclad is phenomenal. It is a very retro style anime artwork, space adventure. You and up to two other players, so 3 players total, are commanding the battleship. I'm wanting to say it's a battleship. I don't remember offhand. Please don't hurt me. But you're all commanding a battleship called the Ironclad. And you start off and you're given a mission. Go here and do this. But then as you're leaving, somebody goes, wait. Instead, go here and take it here instead. So now you're given a choice. So depending on what you do, you're going to get different rewards. You're going to get different rewards where you go, but also your reputation is going to change based on where you went. And then you play the next mission, but the reputation change carries from round to round. Damages done to the ship carries from round to round. The people that you're on your crew, if they're hurt, they carry from round to round. So you have to spend your money to get a medical attention, repair the ship, restock on ammo, restock on energy. Well, not really energy, but repairs. And you have all this stuff going on. But it's not that complicated of a game. It's actually fairly simple, and it plays phenomenally one player. It plays phenomenally all the way up to 3 players. Basically you have 3 different command systems, and one person just takes control of the command system. And it's a phenomenal game. And then the artwork alone reminds me of like Akira, kind of a little bit of Evangelion, a little bit of just a bunch of different 90s and 80s anime. Just looks phenomenal. Definitely check this one out. Next one on my list is Gunsword. Now, Gunsword almost looks like a BattleCon Lite in a way. It is, first off, the artwork is phenomenal from what I've seen. It looks really, really, really nice. I love that. But it looks kind of like a BattleCon Lite where you have a resource called Momentum, where I guess you're given so much momentum and you get to do all these actions until your momentum drops below your opponent's momentum. Now it's your opponent's turn because you've lost the momentum. So that you're going to wind up bouncing back and forth. So I could do just this big boom power attack. Maybe, and this is hypothetical, but maybe uses 10 momentum. But then my opponent uses like 2 attacks that use 3 momentum and another one that uses like 5 momentum. Now they're below me, but they did 3 attacks where I did 1. And then so you're bouncing back and forth. And I like games that do that because it gives you a lot to think about with such a basic mechanic. Next up is Space Race Intercosmos. Now this one is a tableau building space race where the players have 7 rounds to make the most, or accomplish, I was going to say prestigious, but accomplished space agency. Which, you know, again, this kind of goes back to, I love space now, I'm a big science nut, well, sci-fi nerd, and that's kind of what this is, but it's the space race. And apparently there's no randomness to it, so I guess the cards that are going to be in play are picked by the players, so there is no random element to it. It's purely strategy, which is really, really cool. I'm not a fan of luck. I'll play games, and some of my favorite games have a lot of luck in them, but I would prefer a strategic game. And then again, you know, there's a couple other, several other systems that go into play with this, but overall, it does look really, really cool. The artwork, could be a little bit better in my opinion, but I could barely draw stick figures, so who am I to complain about somebody's drawings? And the last game on the list for this week is Arena Battlefields. I think I pronounced that one right. But this one claims to be an area control drafting dice-based game. Now, the reason why I sounded a bit on the confused side there is because, first and foremost, unless I'm missing something, this isn't an area control game. It actually looks more like a column fighter, I think is what they're called, on mobile, where you just have rows and you're sending enemies at the row, or enemies are coming at you and you have to send enemies and push them back, and it's just this big tug of war. Now, it sounds like that's a bad thing. I don't mind those. Like, those are a lot of fun. I used to burn numerous hours away in high school, not high school, because that was before my day, I guess. Or after my day, but jobs that I've had, stuff like that. I've burned many hours away on stuff like that. So, not griping about that. But the artwork looks very Arcadia Quest style, which I'm a big fan of. I like Arcadia Quest's artwork. And what you're supposed to try to do is, I guess, get your bad guys to their side of the board. And once you get 2 to their side of the board, you, like, shut their portal or something. I don't know. But that's kind of how that works. It's got a dice-based combat system, which looks really, really cool. All right, and that is my games for the past 2 weeks. So again, sorry about missing last week. Like I said, super busy, swamped with a lot of work and a lot of things that I had to get done. But this week, which game is my Kickstarter of the week? And it would be nothing more or less than, boom, Ironclad. I still have my review copy if that says anything. So, phenomenal game. Definitely check it out if you like space, you like, you know, 80s and 90s anime. Was it like Macross, Robotech, a few other ones. I can't remember because I spoke with the designer. There's several inspirations they got, but they're all kind of that same time frame. It just looks phenomenal, plays really, really well. And it's a very immersive experience if you like sci-fi and you like space-themed games. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you like my new format thing here. Let me know down in the description. Make sure you give this video a like, comment, subscribe, share the video. If you like my channel, definitely check me out on Patreon. Boom, right up here and down in the description. Any little bit of help definitely is appreciated. And anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys next time in the quarantine.